All right, at the end of 90 minutes, all the way, baby any Kumase Asante Kotoko, and the baby any Gold Stars game, no, I ended in a 0-0 draw. A lot of conversation and a free game no ba yeah baby bobo near discuss it on this very platform. Oba, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that amazing content here or platform you so no also on sa a bit me na why enjoy. Now and a game in a lot of issues and be free muaba and then a free muaba. Now many observations, other videos would come up where we will engage a nipa wamo ekojina anemo baby any for us to have extensive conversation. Na boama bibia etimi akoye na ene match name washe. At some point in time there were reports from people no more baby any there were security issues that was raised or a game okay say on this channel yaka the any pick say groundsman name pesa ball no ebebe TV so yaka ni nyina ho asem kire groundsman yaka chem say groundsman na ebi mo pesa ball no bebe TV so me sure say mo monitor channel mu nyina no mu hu sa ensem no, and there were things that happened but more on that and na nya asem ketwa Asamon Kumasi Asante Kotoko chita for the Ayalolo bus. Etimiko piemu ewo ye can sempe piani dance park. Na nya asem ketwa timu se na Asante Kotoko team no mpanifo ani apre say everything possible omobeye ama team na etimi adi nkunim no they were going to do it today. Intina nya asem ketwa hwe the rifle of Asante Kotoko ewo baby ani a ne jana no ding we say na supporters no wo mo edi bus nanim eye ayalolo bus nanim na edi omo kwa na nya asem ketwa na emu nsem no edoso pa ba ne nyina na yaboa no ayede ba besom say oba what quickly let's move on straight to the lineup before other conversations be later ne. Kumasi Asante Kotoko lineup no had Mohamed Kamara imposed, Justice Blay at the right back, left back Patrick Sietu, 4 and 5 Henry Ansu, na wanya Brantie Feno, Joseph Ablo, we mon a ball Chiro Samba now in the middle. Yeah, reporting I'm saying Tim Manu is still in Ghana into a Samba and in Tim Manu and a Jinemu. And Finfin in deep defense, or what we call a defensive midfield role, for a year a brantia, your friend Baba to play just behind the forward. Now, when you're a year on the wings, Michael Che Jamana supporting Justice Blay. Now, when you're brantia, your friend a year Saka Dauda on the other side, then eventually Albert Amwa, or no an age. Intuition Komoya and Kwame Poku na onim. The recovery of Albert Amwa meant that on an lead the attack na Asante Kotoko edi kan dey atuma nim say Kumasi Asante Kotoko technical team no manages Albert Amwa. Into Kotoko training grounds are normally on your starter in most of the trainings are Kotoko because they don't want to get him so much involved no pra, but Omo reserve most of his energy so they do match there. Obetimi aba begina mu na wasi akan Eri ama Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Well, elsewhere, baby any Gold Stars. Ubenya Emmanuel Kobe, Atakumi Farouk, Charles Kamara, Roland Frempong, Foster Ej. No munyina ejine mo na ba munyina isi akan edema club FN baby any Gold Stars. Or this epic encounter. Well, what did we observe? Well, once again, you will talk about the energy level and the stamina of the Asante Kotoko players. You can say at some point in time, now Kumasi Asante Kotoko mrantie no apomuden na omoda na di ewo park ne so a na ensene mfata, especially ye be we game now to say mrantie na bre. But one thing is certain, that Asante Kotoko this season, especially under coach Karim Zito, are extremely determined. Ontimi here Kotoko team no na complaining so much about laziness. I mean, you see the fighting spirit in the Kotoko players. They are doing everything possible to end the game. And even in the extra time, Kotoko scored a goal, but more on officiating later on this particular network and our conversation. You drew the last minute of the game. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Abrante Fan Samson Duku, etimi small ball. Emma ball no ever ko ball the crossbar. Na enyasem ketwa. Ko ball po na chese na obesie aka kakra bi na ese Kotoko. Na nka o the ball no etimi de ato atenam na no eye nkoma na eno so ewo ho. Enti enadie I think say Kotoko picked the draw. You talk about the finishing, especially in the last minute of the game. But all in all, you be the applause Bema Kotoko team, the players, for their aggressiveness, for their determination. I mean, this was a team that was playing with everything in them. I mean, the whole team played very, very well. I mean, the tackles, the interceptions, they all played a part. That would be the first observation, the fighting spirit and the energy level of the Kotoko players. Well, we now call the second one, which is officiating. A lot need to happen. Sir Obekaya, my catch them say referee Robert Mozedi. Me two way me engineering. What they are saying? Referee Robert Mozedi, me two way me engineering. I'm not surprised with his performance, and this is not the first time I'm making this comment. As a person, I'm not surprised with his performance. He's not he's not a top-notch referee. Oh, no referee. Oh yeah, yes, sir. Oh yeah, referee be deep na. I say yeah na. 70 be brave. And I know Nyame had more training in aircon. He'll be a major topic when it comes to discussions. Or a table so on most of discussions because of panel discussions because of. You see matches like this. Referee Robert Mose is not among the top 5 best referees in Ghana. So I always have my issues when it comes to the Ghana Football Association and even the kind of people are almost selected almost on Mundi matches. Let's get serious. Ref boy Daniel Ayi. If we claim that Daniel Ayi is the best referee in Ghana, if we claim that Daniel Ayi is the man who developed to the extent that calf matches on the Nyabebre DDR, then you cannot tell me it's such a big game between two sides that have the chance of winning the Ghana Premier League. You know, referee Robert Mose no Mbambidi. He will be the topic of discussions, not for positive reasons. Only the boldness to stamp his authority our game. And again, sometimes when we talk about officiating, line for no judge and no free. Yet to make a phobia never be in a line so boy in your offside no page boy offside near the hop +1 -1 they keep balancing it. At the end of the day, no say the beauty of the game, not of the field incident, are destroying entirely. Now my assembly in basa. So I strongly believe there's a lot that the Ghana Football Association is so much me. So what I say, they cannot repeat the same mistakes. Maybe I do not. Nations FC Samate's game should be officiated by a good referee. A referee I want the boldness. Say some red card, a man red card. There's some yellow card, a man yellow card. Say red, say penalty or budget. And foul say kwama home team and we need top lines. Line for us here papa. And your line kwatiri kobia konkonsan sembia no ababe jinemu na afie be wiase no se ball ni na e basa na nkomo the beauty of the game, the tactical brilliance of the managers na eno akwa akoda baby. It's far about Well, the third observation, we have to talk about Asante Kotoko chita for ne kopie mu hɔ no. Honestly, no crane about the number of spectators from Kotoko Mpatemwa, it mi wura mu ekota Asante Kotoko echi no na no den. Honestly, I did not expect this number. What you say? I did not expect this number. My reason was very simple. Now me shame in say most of the Kotoko fans were going to give up. Maybe they want to say as a bono league na eco nations for nowhere we and that. I thought that was going to be on the minds of most of the Kotoko fans. So to some extent, na me want to say bebre ebe kwa kujinemu. What I say na me want to say ombe fro basako. But here we have the Porcupine Tertiary and other Asante Kotoko supporters going in their numbers to give their love to the team. Though yaba can security won sensem kakra, but omo ya ade pa a kire so mo kire odosronko e wo ha na akono na esese ye bo maba so. Enya no pe yo nipa bi wa no mo nye Porcupine Tertiary for, but they also joined the bus to travel all the way to Eyebebiani, and it was an electrifying moment. We're saying you know Moshi Jamano. Kotoko Twitter handle, you see some of the videos. Amazing support. The color was solid. Singing on top of their voice. And you see, when fans go to this extent to campaign and support the team, the best thing you can do as players near say, as someone making sure say you put up top performance to merit the energy and stamina and love our supporters now show. Now, let's talk about security. Now, security in common because I feel na stories na free baby any no eba. I feel na stories na free baby any no eba pa. In the early stages, you need coming up with tweets. Odia no tone chanya. You other Kotoko supporters, and you saw videos of how intense the whole situation net here. The Nina on some ebremo. Na yaka somewhere ka. You see? Yaka. After Nana Pole free mono. I said we started war, but I saw Tonyoma Bibregu. The situation was too bad to the extent that it got to a time necessary yema military enforcement ebem to create some calmness for venue, you know. Because even the TV and based on the announcement it eventually happened. And it seems that a way that the military even said Twitter how do a man draw the attention of the Ghana Football Association. Nanka bo no anka TV so, and that was not it. After the first half, first half no go and some of the supporters had access to the inner perimeter, leading to a massive confusion. Ball supporters tinha access to inner perimeter na yo we team wa kame ye mentiase ne ntokwa AC we inner perimeter, where we've all gotten to a stage that say now if you are not authorized, you don't have any business you kind of saying inner perimeter. But it happened where people who are not authorized got there, and it turned to a whole new issue. And then also now so it looks like we joke with key things. Officiating now, Bobo, look at this offside. Security, Bobo. Then even when it comes to watching the game itself on TV, you don't get the best of coverage because I mean, look at all these things. So Adia is supposed to be an epic clash that will sell Ghana football. You be not storylines more negatives than positives. And that is what we are living with when it comes to our game. Now to the key ingredients. Well, I think we had a wonderful game from Mohamed Kamara. And I mean, if you analyze the Kotoko players, there are a lot of positives from the Kotoko players. I mean, Mohamed Kamara, yes, there were moments in the course of the game. I mean, there were some balls being handled here with JJ. That one is there. But all those things being said, we saw an effective Mohamed Kamara. I mean, there were moments a friend who could give him. He was there to do the savings for Asante Kotoko. I loved more of Justice Blade today. And then the hard yes, I concern yellow card na referee issue no. Na hard Timma yellow card be now general crown. But the point I'm trying to make is that Justice Blade was decent today. Patrick Essiedu, away from that, Joseph Ablo, fighting spirit. I'm seeing a more calm Henry Ansu. Something an entire see Ansu being so calm and careful. I no more hear the sweeping for a year. I want to find Joseph Ablo to be doing the tackling. Samba in the middle, still some rough edges for him to sharpen. But you love Intimenu. You will just love Andrews Intimenu. And now say he has matured. And thereby about life and confidence. So our brabum nasa would do GDA. Unye GD wa brabumwa. Kwaya faso ya onyoman eyanesa. This is Intimenu or jebo on a dan and hotimi pass ye. This is Intimenu or 360. In the work creating Unjemu, he's still doing it. And all these things are positives for Team FN Kumase Eya Asante Kotoko. When it comes to Intimenu, Baba Eya is growing in his game. Tackling, the passes. Hold on to the ball, making the necessary dribbles. All these things are positive for Abrante FN Baba Eya. Then you also talk about Albert Amwa, Saka Dauda, any Abrante FN. Change and it was a good start but a bad ending for Change. He started very well, later on no fade out. But the fifth thing will be the substitutions of coach Karim Zito. I mean, the introduction of Peter Akwa changed everything. Adia Bakwe Nina Kanfa Peter Akwa Hono Akwa and his you kind of saying substitutions. Akwa and his finishing. Sebe jumana nkasa yenje bono yembo yempase yempiama we waya ama now ni take on players cry. You don't really have a lot of questions because why excellent with his take-ons. Obeda wings one him say ono ne bona one ne bono betwetwe. Obeda wings one him say bono ne bono. Or yes, it's at the end a bit of an issue for him. But they had the aqua canny finishing. And it looks like a honey Jumana work a crown Peter Aqua that he need to work on. Jeba for Bebem, Edukubebem had a glorious opportunity. Unfortunately, Nasabo on Kobo crossbar. But the point I'm trying to make is that it was an end-to-end game. Maybe I know who said that ball no based because of the pitch and you know. Na ball no the top form kakra na hard drain. But you can see that ekoha na baha, ekoha na baha, ekoha na baha. It was you feel the vibe in the game. See the ball no top form pass the but say yeah boss shot be chance be pressure be co team be so no. That one was very common in today's game, and these are all positives. A bit me account want some a young commonum na yabo a year. The two coaches are basso when it comes to their output. The only problem with the coaches has to do with the finishing. I think Ghana Premier League coaches must work on the finishing of their players so that they can convert half chances into beautiful goals. Chances be who strikers be a man on a chance no better than a one that's so big pass but when it comes to Ghana, was a honey about watching baby a honor. So these are the things. But again, I think to some extent, Asante Kotoko may say the presence of Abrante Freno, Kwame Poku. Poku or the Oye Ewa Bonum. And he was missing. Though Kotoko still survived, but imagine if it was Albert from the wings, Saka, and maybe Kwame Poku. Or even if Kwame is starting from the bench, maybe a Kwame free bench, you see the energy of the Babishe game. All in all, it was a good game from Kotoko. Not the best of results because the dynamics on the Ghana Premier League now pinso after this particular game, which we are going to talk about it in subsequent videos. But we saw the improvement of Kotoko in drop way, especially under Zito. Omuguswa no mu improve. Going to Bebiani and playing against GOLDSTARS, you need to go the extra mile, and especially with how the referee was performing today, maybe difficult for you to get it easy or match him. So, credit to the team; they've done an excellent job. But the Ghana Football Association need to start working on officiating. Massa, take decisions. I don't know who I want to say. I have Sante Kotoko. So, what really happened or other venues, we'll bring that discussions later on this very platform. Bye-bye.